Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker out here in the middle of, well, that's Alabama, and according to that sign, that's Mississippi. And just did 1,000 miles to get to this point. Had a great time in Alabama. Anyway, enough about that. A little bit about traveling. Hot rod Himalayan and gear is what we're going to talk about right quick. The motorcycle, to get that ready for the travel, I've got the I got the hard bag on it. I got a great back tire on it, Dunlop Trail Max Mission tire. We did an oil change. We made sure, you know, the valves were inspected, checked all the tire pressures. You know, I do that. I check my tire pressure, my oil, and something else, coolant, every day. I just check it every day, and that's just part of the ride. You know, got a very comfortable seat on this motorcycle. This is an awesome traveling motorcycle. This is the Royal Enfield Himalayan 452, and I've got about 8,700 miles on it already. I picked it up 30 days ago today, so it's a good runner. It's a good runner. The gear I'm wearing, I'm going to talk about that now because it's early in the morning. I've got my Royal Enfield Explorer 3 jacket on. Now this jacket has a liner in it. The liner is actually in the box right now because it's warm up here. When I left Iowa 2 days ago, the temperature was 52 degrees. I put the liner on, I had long underwear on. Right now I've got a long underwear top on and this jacket. I call this a passive venting jacket. In other words, it has venting systems, so all that mesh is all vent. But you can't close or open or close them. The only way you control the air is by putting something underneath it, like a liner. It has a rain jacket that comes with it, and I've wore that before when I've gotten chilly with it on, and it works really well. For gloves, this morning I've got my blow-through, my vented Noru gloves. I also have my winter Alpine Star Royal Enfield gloves in there. Helmet, of course, I've got my Shoei Neotech 2. And let's see, what else could I tell you about gear? Good gear makes the ride comfortable. That's the number one thing about, I mean, everybody talks about gear and safety, and that's absolutely true. But good gear makes the ride, makes sure it gives you more comfort, gives you control of the weather and the temperature and all that stuff. And that is the primary, you know, buy the stuff that does that for you, and you will wear it every time you ride because it'll make the ride better. Big old truck. So how about planning for a trip like this? There's a couple different ways I do that. If I'm going on a long ride, it's somewhere I've been several times before, I'll get maps out and I'll find exact ways to get there. A ride like this one, I simply, you know, put in the destination where I was going to go. In this case, somewhere in Alabama. I put in Rattlesnake Saloon, Alabama. Do that and go there. It's absolutely amazing. And it gave me a couple different route options, and I kind of made some variations of that just to. What I should have did was avoid St. Louis, although I did enjoy riding through St. Louis. That bike tore up St. Louis. It just, you know, that thing will go 100 miles an hour if you need to. But so I on this trip, and right now on the way home, I stopped at a gas station, fueled up, put in my home destination, and I'm going to make a variation of that route. So if I go there a lot and I want to get there quick, and I'll do an exact route, and something like this, I'm just going to do kind of a haphazardly, go have some fun route. I don't know where I'm going to stop for fuel or, you know, things like that. But it all seems to work out pretty darn well, you know, so far, right? Big things to worry about are fuel management, of course. This bike, if you go 60, 70 miles an hour, you can get over 200 miles a gallon, 200 miles a tank, 200 miles on a tank of fuel. So you get a lot of range. And I try to fill up about every 150, 160, 170 miles. So that works out pretty good for me. All right, I'll catch up to y'all in a little bit. Wahoo, we have gone, about 450 miles already this morning, or today. It's already afternoon. I had lunch already. I wanted to stop. I was hoping I could find a scenic overlook, but none to be found. I'm on, I think this is 60 through Missouri. And I'm just outside of Springfield, maybe 70 miles that way, let's say. And I wanted to show you this rock, just absolutely gorgeous. These formations are all over here. So we left Alabama, beautiful Alabama, and we got into Tennessee, the cotton fields, and then into Missouri, flatlands over by the Mississippi. And you know, we kind of drove out of that and all the cotton and all the beans and stuff like that, and got into the kind of woody, hilly areas, a lot of logging. You know, we left the fields behind, the farm fields behind for logging, and hills and trees and stuff. Now we're kind of into the more touristy, more scenic area. I think we're just kind of on the edges of it. And it's really just gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. It's been a great day for riding. The weather is, I think it's probably less than 90. My thermometer on my bike says it's 90 degrees, so that's usually within 10 degrees. There's a whole mess of motorcycles and tons of bikes out. But anyway, so the bike itself, that tire now has, I think we've got 14 or 1500 miles since I left Iowa. So, you know, look at that thing. It's doing really well. The whole thing is just working grand. So this is my camping gear. I don't think I pointed that out. My camping gear, my camping chair. This is where I keep my gear, like jackets, gloves, stuff like that. Some food, electronics, and other miscellaneous stuff like that. Up here in this little pouch, just a little bit about the traveling on the bike like this, is my Tylenol, and you know, I can charge my phone in here, stuff like that. And ads that I put on this bike that I'm very happy I installed. This taller windshield right here. Now it's only 4 inches taller, and I was saying earlier that you know, it makes a slight difference, a little bit of difference. But when you ride 800 miles in a day, that little bit of difference adds up. So I'm very happy with that ad. Of course, the tire, we added that, and the box on the back. Other things I'd like to add, as soon as they're available, I'm going to get the Royal Enfield hand guards, because that would help a lot, I think. And then this tire is now at, we're over 9,000, 9,200 miles. And so this thing is, actually it's holding up really well. I'm pretty happy with that. That'll go several thousand more, I believe. Doing really good, doing really good. As far as gear goes, I've taken my long underwear top off. The jacket does not have the liner in it, and that is a big truck. And I've got my ventilated gloves. I'm okay going down the road. Like I said, this jacket has passive ventilation, where you see the that mesh that'll let air in. This jacket also has C2 armor in the elbows and in the shoulders. Pretty darn comfortable jacket, as long as you're not standing still like I am right now. Look at that thing. Isn't that amazing? Those things are phenomenal. I'm just amazing. Other things to talk about? Well, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is, I've got about 300 miles to go to get home. No, probably 400 miles, 300 to 400 miles to go. I'll catch up to you on a little bit. Wahoo! Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here, finally home, back in the Fuzzy Biker garage. Oh man, is it good to be home. You know, what a ride. 825 miles today. I started this morning at the campground. I had 1,000 miles on the odometer. I have 1,825, so 1,825 in 3 days. I think the total is 9,300 miles. Today, I got this bike 30 days ago today, so this is Sunday. Anyway, let's see what we got for total mileage. Okay, 9,470 for total mileage. So the thing has just been running like a dream. I put a new back tire on it. We tuned. I think we already talked about that. But these long rides, you know, when I do that kind of thing, I do a lot of those. I've done that for years. One of the things is, how do you stay focused? How do you keep from getting bored? What do you do to combat fatigue? And so what I do is, about every other tank of gas, 2 tanks, I'll stop, sometimes 3 tanks, but usually every 2 tanks, I'll stop somewhere and get a cup of coffee, maybe eat a little bit of something, walk around a little bit, you know, get the legs stretched out a little bit. And then with every tank, I try to do a little bit of stretching, you know. In the helmet, I try to, you don't want to know what goes on in my helmet, driving down the road. You know, there's bad singing, there's getting the wrong lyrics of songs, there's, you know, but mainly enjoying the view, enjoying what you see. When you ride 1,000 miles or 800 miles, I've only ridden 1,000 miles once, but 700-800 miles in one day, especially in one direction, you can see, you know, the big geographic differences, the big economic differences, you can see cultural differences. You can literally see cultural differences, the kinds of stores they have there, the kind of things that people do, you know, the kind of, you know, I was so far down south that down there they have the fronts of the trucks set up in the air, and I think that's cool. You know, that's not how we do it here in Iowa, but nothing wrong with that. That's how they do it. You know, things like that you get to see, you know, when you're doing a long ride. But anyway, the gear made the trip. I got to Kansas, and it would start to rain, just sprinkle. and I was cold, and I didn't want to stop. I wanted to make my gas. You know, I wanted to go till I needed gas, and I raced through Kansas City like a madman. That was a lot of fun. And but I was chilling. I should have stopped early and put my gear on. So I got the gas, put the lighter in my jacket, put my long underwear top on. You know, put my winter gloves on. Where are they? Right here. These are my Royal Enfield Alpine Star. I think they're called V2. I don't know. They say Royal, you know, they're cool because they say Royal Enfield on them. So I've had those 2 years now. Anyway, those things are great for cold weather like this. And anyway, got that stuff on, and yeah, within minutes I was warm, but it just pulled over a half an hour earlier. That's another thing you should, you know, talking about combating fatigue. Here's my setup. You know, I got my camping gear here, and I think I talked about that already. But this is the star of the show right here, the box. I don't know if I dare open it. I don't know what's in there, but you know, I've got cold weather gear in there. I've got food. I've got, what do I got in there? Gloves, t-shirt I bought for my grandson, helmet cleaning supply, GoPro stuff. They grow cotton down south, and I've never seen that, so I pulled over and I got a couple of these. I'm going to give one to my grandson. You know, that's from a cotton plant. Anyway, it was quite a trip, quite a trip. Thankful to Ed for facilitating, inviting me, showing me around, getting me to the campground. Just good old time. Really had a fun time there. I made the news down there. I was standing in the right place at the right time, and one of the news people, and Ed sent me a link. I'll put that on YouTube, or not. I won't put that on YouTube. I'll put it on Facebook or something. But that was kind of fun, you know. The Trail of Tears ride was amazing. The Coonhound Cemetery was amazing. The whole experience. And Alabama is just a gorgeous state. Just a gorgeous state. Now, Tennessee as well. One of y'all commented about Kentucky. I would love to go to Kentucky. I didn't see your comment until I was in Kansas City. Actually, I was south of Kansas City. I stopped somewhere and had a Subway. And but I would love to go to Kentucky. Anyway, gorgeous. I used to live there in the 80s. So, hey, I'm rambling like a rambling man again. Now, if y'all are interested in a near used Royal Enfield like this one, Triumph, classic British bike of any type, need parts, accessories, thingamajigs, doodads, gear like this nice jacket, gloves, you know, winter stuff, accessories, parts, I went through that already. Get yourself over to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, or go to baxtercycle.com. They ship motorcycles also, by the way, to most places. And tell those fine folk that Fuzzy Biker sent you. Now, I am wiped out. I am wiped out. But if you can get out and ride, get out and ride. Life is good. Life is good. Life, I can't say that enough. Life is good. Wahoo! 1964 Velocet Venom Clubman. 500cc air-cooled single. Overhead valves.